Hello and welcome to NASCAR Now. We begin with breaking news. Chase contender Dale Earnhardt Jr. will miss the next 2 races due to lingering symptoms of a concussion. Marty Smith will take over the 88 in Charlotte and Kansas. Earnhardt said he initially suffered the injury in a crash August 29th while testing in Kansas. The symptoms, including persistent headaches, returned after crashing again last week in Talladega. According to Earnhardt, the crash in Kansas registered 40 Gs, while the Talladega crash only 20. That said, Earnhardt acknowledged the compounding effect of having multiple concussions. Of record, Earnhardt suffered a concussion in 2002 and alluded to the possibility of having suffered others between then and now. And we've got team coverage of today's big story. Ricky Craven and Marty Smith are both at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Dr. Jerry Punch will also join us shortly. But we begin with Marty Smith. And Marty, you were at this morning's press conference. How would you describe the scene?
Well, certainly, Mike, it was introspective by Dale Earnhardt Jr. It took a lot of guts. If you ask around this garage, many drivers have noted that to me. The wherewithal it took for Earnhardt to make the decision, the personal decision, to seek out a doctor to make sure that he was okay. Ultimately, as we've seen, there is the decision made that he'll sit out for 2 weeks. He addressed it at length this morning.
I guess I'll just start out with where this all kind of began. We had a test at Kansas about 5 weeks ago, and we blew a right front tire going into turn 1, and I remember everything about that accident, everything after that accident, but I knew that I didn't feel, you know your body and you know how your mind works, and I knew something was just not quite right. But I decided to, just try to push through and work through it. I'd had concussions before and knew exactly kind of what I was dealing with, so by the time we got to Talladega, I felt 100%, felt really good. And in the accident at the end of that race, I was hit in the left rear quarter panel. It was a sort of a odd kind of a collision where the car spun around really quick and just sort of disoriented me, and I knew that I'd sort of regressed and been, had a bit of a setback. So I took it upon myself to, I contacted my sister, and we talked about seeing a neurosurgeon, and we ended up getting steered toward Dr. Petty and met with him. Ran through a couple tests, everything was checking out. Did an MRI, everything looked good there. But I was really honest with him about how I felt, and honest with him about the whole process from Kansas all the way on. And he spent the night thinking about what we discussed and everything that we did on Wednesday, and couldn't clear me to race this weekend. So I trust his opinion. That's why I went to see him. When he tells me I don't need to be in the car and I need to take a couple weeks off, that's what I need to do.
A couple other notes here that need to be noted. Number one is that Earnhardt won't be at the track on Saturday evening. At least he has no plans to be. He said he doesn't want to be a distraction for Steve Letarte and the number 88 crew, and Marty Smith, who of course will substitute drive for him. Earnhardt also said that he and Dr. Petty tried to go back through his career, count the number of concussions that he sustained, and they really couldn't come up with a tally. He said he's had several, quote, mild concussions. And the last note, Mike, is that this will be the first race in the Sprint Cup Series since September 3rd, 1979, that an Earnhardt isn't in the field for the Sprint Cup race.
Yeah,
Mike?
hard to even imagine. Of course, Marty, this goes well beyond Dale Jr. himself. It affects his whole team, the Hendrick Motorsports organization. How are they reacting?
Well, certainly everyone's extremely supportive, and I think that there's so much involved in that support. I think the recent media coverage about the NFL and all of the fallout from concussions that we've seen of late is a major portion of that. And given the fact that all of these guys at Hendrick, Rick Hendrick, the team owner, Jimmy Johnson, his teammate, both addressed it today as well, and they understand Earnhardt's passion for what he does, and that's why this was such a landmark decision.
Well, I think that's one thing everybody admires about Dale is how honest and upfront he is. He cares a lot about the team, his fans, and the sport in general. And but when he knew that there was something not right, when the doctor tells you you get hit again, like right away, it could be catastrophic. So we were so happy yesterday that the MRI was completely normal, that no damage. We don't have a problem there. And for these two guys to have the kind of year they've had, to lead the points and get in the chase, and we've got a lot of years left to race. I always want to be on the side of safety.
To come so far all year long for himself and that team, the sponsors associated, everybody involved, you know, it's a sad day that he's going to be out, but concussions are a tricky thing, as we all know, and we've got to make sure that he's right, so if he is in the car and does have another crash, that it doesn't set him back any further.
One other aspect of this that Jimmy Johnson noted is that he doesn't feel like it's set in yet for Dale Earnhardt Jr. The actual impact that it will have on him to miss these two races and possibly more. We don't know that yet. It's in the doctor's hands, according to Junior. One other thing that happened is there's a bit of a musical chairs situation. We already knew that Kurt Busch was replacing Regan Smith in the number 78 car starting this weekend for the final 6 weeks. So that then sent Regan Smith into the number 51. Smith said he was first contacted about the 88 this morning. Of course, he's going to jump at that chance. That opened up the number 51 car for Phoenix Racing. A.J. Allmendinger, who was suspended this summer for drugs, will take over that seat. And Regan Smith and A.J. Allmendinger will be on the show in just a bit. Mike?
Yeah, lots of moving parts in this situation. Marty, thank you. And with that, a very long streak comes to an end. Earnhardt Jr. had started 461 straight Cup events, which was the 5th longest active streak. Only Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, Jeff Burton, and Tony Stewart have longer ones. Junior's streak dated back to November 1999. Dr. Jerry Petty was the man who diagnosed Junior, and he spoke about it today.
What we'll do now is we want him to have 4 or 5 days after he has no headache, and then we'll give him some sort of test, like to get his pulse rate up, see if we can provoke a headache. And then if we can't, we'll let him go out and maybe drive a lap or two and see how that goes. And if that goes well, we'll probably clear him to race.
To give us some perspective on the injury, our own doctor, Dr. Jerry Punch, joins us now. And Jerry, medically speaking, for those folks out there who aren't familiar with the injury, what exactly is a concussion?
Well, Mike, a concussion, the word concussion comes from the Latin concature, which means to shake violently. And typically what happens, whether it's two football helmets colliding on a football field or a race car driver hitting a wall or suddenly decelerating, the brain sloshes against the front of the skull and then against the back of the skull. And that creates the interrupted brain wave activity. The front of the skull, the frontal lobes have all the memory, so people can have amnesia. The back of the skull, the occipital lobes have the vision, so therefore you get the blurred vision and other symptoms there.
I know there's a question out there right now, Jerry, as to why this was not diagnosed in Talladega.
Well, most concussions are subtle. You may not see the symptoms until the next day, which was the case in Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now, if it's a violent concussion, they may be unconscious at the scene, or they may have a problem with amnesia. They're confused or disoriented when they come to the infield care center. That was not the case with Dale Earnhardt Jr. He knew where he was, what had happened, what was going on. But the next day was when he began to have the headaches. Now, to our knowledge, he didn't have the nausea, vomiting, blurred vision, dizziness, or other symptoms, but the headache was violent enough that he knew that from past injuries, he wanted to have that looked at.
I think the big question out there, what most people out there want to know, we've heard he's out for 2 weeks. There is some speculation, however, he might be out even longer than that. What do you think the timetable is?
Well, I mean, the good news is that the MRI they did Wednesday or yesterday was clear and was negative for bleeding and bruising. So the symptoms with a concussion for Dale Earnhardt Jr. are all what he's feeling. So 90% of what's going to put him back in the race car is what he will tell the neurosurgeon. Now, with that said, though, in the NFL, here in NASCAR, the normal theory is that it's 7 to 10 days after you are completely clear of symptoms that you can return to competition. Well, right now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. still has symptoms, and with repetitive concussions, and this is not his first, the symptoms come on earlier and they last longer. So it could be 2 days, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 2 months until the symptoms go away. And then again, the timetable after that, 7 to 10 days to clear him. Now, he hopes to be back in the car after Kansas. They right now have Regan Smith in the car the next 2 weeks, but only time will tell. So it could be longer, or he might be back at Martinsville.
All right, Doc, I know it's been a very busy day for you out at the Speedway. We'll let you go, but thanks for taking the time.
My pleasure, Mike.
Ricky Craven has some personal experience with concussions, and Ricky joins us now. Ricky, what's your reaction to this whole situation?
My first reaction, Mike, was admiring the courage it took for Dale Earnhardt to deal with this and getting ahead of it. But I immediately shifted my thoughts this morning after having a cup of coffee with my wife about my own experience and how uncomfortable it's going to be for Dale Jr. The next few weeks are going to be very, very uncomfortable on several levels.
As you mentioned, your personal experience, we all can recall what you went through in the late 90s with your crashes, Talladega and Texas. If you were to give Junior some advice right now, what would it be?
I would, you know, it's different for everybody, but I would stay the course. You've started the process, so there's really no turning back. The doctors do have a big part of the equation now as far as controlling when you get back in the car, because the doctor ultimately has to sign off. And if you're not 100%, if you're 98%, you know, take another week or take 2 weeks, or honestly take the rest of the season, because head injuries and dealing with concussions is so difficult to understand, and time is the one thing that everybody knows is part of the cure, so take the time.
As a race car driver, what's it like trying to deal with this injury? I mean, it's got to be very difficult when you're at speed, 180 plus miles per hour, going in circles with that centrifugal force. Your balance is a big part of the equation. What do drivers deal with when they have a concussion?
Mike, I think the difficulty is that it's different for every driver. The injury is different for every driver, has different symptoms, different effects. I know for me, one of the things that led to my diagnosis is that I had trouble in the airplane. When we flew into clouds, I felt like the plane was inverted. That was the first sign during the off-season of 97, 98. And then in the race, 3 races into the season, when my windshield got covered up with oil from a car in front, I felt like I was falling out of the seat. That led me to the University of North Carolina Medical Center, and I was diagnosed with a vestibular weakness, which affects your balance. Having said all that, it really depends on every driver's circumstance. And I said earlier, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because drivers don't want to lose that control. They feel most comfortable when they are in control of their own destiny. When you put yourself in this situation where a medical group ultimately controls your destiny, it's very uncomfortable and very unsettling.
Well, we'll be paying very close attention to as to how this story plays out. Ricky, we appreciate your insight. We'll get back to you a little bit later in the show. Folks, don't go away. We still have plenty to come. With Dale Earnhardt Jr. out, how are his peers reacting? Why the magnitude of this story has been felt throughout the sport. Regan Smith, meanwhile, will take over the 88 ride the next 2 weeks. We'll evaluate the opportunity he now has with Hendrick Motorsports. It's a pretty big one. And the domino effect has opened the door for A.J. Allmendinger. Hear what he says about making his first start since being reinstated by NASCAR. Obviously, he's got a pretty big opportunity, too. Nationwide Series final practice coming up immediately following NASCAR Now. There's a look at your championship leader, Elliott Sadler. Here's what's on tap this weekend. Cup qualifying is early this week. Catch it at 7 Eastern on ESPN2 tonight. The Nationwide Series is Friday evening, 7 o'clock over on ESPN. And Chase Race number 5 is on ABC Saturday night at 7 Eastern. Denny Hamlin is the in-race reporter. Recapping the day's top story, Dale Earnhardt Jr. will miss at least the next 2 races Earnhardt said he suffered a concussion in a testing crash August 29th and re-injured himself in Talladega last week. The news was met with strong reaction.
I mean, that was some shocking information this morning to hear that he was not going to be in the next 2 races. I'm sure that was a difficult conversation, a difficult decision, but at the end of the day, you know, he did the right thing. Health always comes first, and you know, proud of him for making a good decision and the doctors for being honest, but you know, it's a shame because he was having a really, really amazing year.
Respectfully to Dale, he chose to not put himself in a bad situation. And I think that's very admirable, for sure, because everyone knows that those are cumulative concussions and their effect on your body. And, you know, that's something that he doesn't need to take a risk of. And I think we all respect that, especially, you know, Dale with his passion for the sport.
And of course, there were lots of other comments on Twitter. Here's a couple of them. One from Kelly Earnhardt. It will be tough for Dale Jr. to sit out, but doctor's orders for best interest of his health for the long term. Trevor Bain tweeted this: hate hearing the news about Dale Jr. this morning, praying for his recovery. Hashtag Junior88. While Dale Earnhardt Jr. is on the mend, Regan Smith will take over driving duties for the 88. Originally, Smith, who vacated the 78 car after last week, was supposed to be in the 51 in Charlotte. Suffice to say, it's been a whirlwind few days for that young man. And for more on this aspect of the story, we turn our attention to Jim Noble. And Jim, it seems like this presents a pretty good opportunity for Regan Smith.
Well, Mike, that is the key word, opportunity. And who knows where this will lead for Regan Smith. We did find out today he's been in discussions with Hendrick and Dale Jr. to drive Dale Jr.'s nationwide car next year. But in terms of the here and now, driving the 88 car, in essence, driving for all of Junior Nation, that is huge for Regan Smith.
It's certainly a good opportunity, and you know, I'm very fortunate that I was the guy they chose to call, and really appreciate that. You know, it's going to be the best car I've sat in. Yeah, there's no denying that, and just want to go out and make the most of it, and you know, run all 500 miles and see where we're at when it's all said and done.
Regan's doesn't need any tutoring or anything like that. He's ready to go. He's going to do a great job. I'm excited for his opportunity. He's a really good guy. Been a good friend of mine for a long time. So under the circumstances, I think this is a really neat opportunity for him. And I think that Steve and the guys will enjoy working with him.
All right, just to tell you how this all came down, Regan Smith got a text message 7 a.m. from Steve Letarte saying, give me a call. Regan called Letarte back and said, do I have time to go to the gym? Steve Letarte said, no. Get your butt down to the 88 shop right now. I'll tell you why. And Mike, the rest, as they say, is history.
Things move so quickly in this sport. Thank you, Jim. We appreciate it. And Ricky Craven rejoins us now. And Ricky, obviously, this is a pretty good situation for Regan Smith. How do you look at the opportunity he has now?
Yeah, Mike, it's a good opportunity. Not a great situation, and the reason is that there's some sensitivity when you're a substitute driver, particularly in the case of substituting for Dale Earnhardt Jr. So I think in this situation it's a little bit uncomfortable, but Regan knows that this might be the best equipment he's ever been in, and he wants to capitalize on that.
And we will be paying very close attention to that on Saturday night. Ricky, don't go away. Still want to pick your brain about yet another aspect of the story. We'll get back to you later in the show. Still ahead, folks, A.J. Allmendinger. Well, he's getting a second chance. We'll talk to him about making his first start since being suspended, why he's not taking this opportunity lightly. A pretty good opportunity for that young man as well. Nationwide, final practice coming up. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. looking to cut into the Elliott Sadler's championship lead.
Fresh Take is brought to you by Subway.
A.J. Allmendinger, who missed 10 races while being suspended for violating NASCAR's substance abuse policy, will make his first start since being reinstated. Allmendinger will take over the 51 for Phoenix Racing. Jim Noble caught up with him this afternoon.
Folks, he is back. A.J. Allmendinger back in the Sprint Cup Series. He's going to race the 51 car for Phoenix Racing. We'll get to the circumstances in a minute. First, how pumped up are you about this weekend?
I'm excited. I'm actually still just trying to take it in. I wasn't ready for this. I woke up this morning, was working out, and all of a sudden saw missed phone calls on my phone, and I was like, that's either good or bad. So, you know, everybody at Phoenix Racing, obviously James Finch and Steve Barkdahl and everybody to give me this opportunity. It happened quick, but I'm really excited to be here.
It has been such a roller coaster ride since July. The suspension, the recovery program, then the reinstatement. How has this changed you as a person? Not a driver, but as a person.
When I get opportunities like this, I'm a lot more thankful. It's this sport kind of takes over your life, even when it's good, but when it's bad, it really takes over your life. And you know, I think I always let it dictate me. I have a bad weekend and it dictated me going home, and I was unhappy in general. So over the time, it gave me the opportunity to get my priorities straight, figure it out, and I'll be a lot better outside the race car, a lot better inside the race car. I'll be a lot better person for it. So it's good to be back here for me and just be smiling and be back in a race car.
So we throw you into the race car today. What are your expectations for this weekend with all the newness around you? I mean, you've won at this racetrack, so the potential at least is pretty good.
And obviously with Rick Hendrick and the great relationship that James Finch has with Rick Hendrick, they have great equipment. So, you know, it's going to take some time to get back into a car. It's like riding a bicycle. I got to get used to it again, get used to the team. In a short amount of time, we got to figure out what I like and what the team is used to. So I think really my expectation is try to run all 500 miles and just keep getting better from the first lap on the racetrack and progress through qualifying, through practice on Friday and into the race.
We don't know anything beyond this weekend, and A.J. Allmendinger, I don't think particularly cares. Back in the saddle here in Charlotte. Back to you.
Thank you, Jim. And Ricky Craven rejoins us now with his fresh take on A.J. Allmendinger. And Ricky, A.J. was in Talladega last week, pounding the pavement. I surmise looking for work, and it seems like it paid off.
Absolutely, Mike. I really admire that A.J. made the trip to Talladega. That had to be very difficult, and spent some time circling the garage, eventually spent some time with James Finch, which ultimately led to this opportunity. You know, it's clear he's here in Charlotte to regain credibility. He's looking for redemption, and he's going to take it one step at a time, but it's a really great story of second chances.
Yeah, we all believe in second chances. Ricky, great job today. We'll check in with you later in the weekend. Folks, don't go away. Still to come, preparations are underway for Saturday night. See who looks good in practice heading into Chase race number 5. We've got the highlights coming up. A busy, busy day at the racetrack. Nationwide Series final practice coming up. Kyle Busch has won 6 times in a Nationwide car at Charlotte. If you missed it, the top news story today, Dale Earnhardt Jr. will miss at least the next 2 races as he recovers from a concussion. Jr. had been experiencing severe headaches following his Talladega crash. Regan Smith will be his sub in the meantime. In practice today out in Charlotte, everybody getting ready for Saturday night's big event. Regan Smith getting acclimated with his new team and his new surroundings, and well, struggled early in practice, at least in race trim, but once they transferred to qualifying trim, they were pretty quick. 7th overall on the speed chart for Regan Smith. Your championship leader, Brad Keselowski, he posted the 10th quickest lap at 190 miles per hour. Here's your rundown of the speeds. Denny Hamlin was at the top of the speed charts, while Mark Martin was second. Meanwhile, taking a look at Jimmy Johnson, had a very fast race car himself. Of course, he's second in the championship standings, posted the 9th fastest lap overall. He's 14 points back right now in the championship standings, hoping to close down that gap in Charlotte on Saturday night. Be sure to tune in for Chase race number 5 over on ABC Saturday night, 7 o'clock. It's the Bank of America 500. You won't want to miss it. Championship picture starting to come into focus. And, of course, remember, Denny Hamlin is the in-race reporter, and he certainly is a championship contender and a contender for the race win on Saturday night. Folks, thanks for joining us here on NASCAR Now. That does it for us this evening. We hope you'll stick with us here as we turn things over to our broadcast crew out at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Nationwide practice next with Marty Reed.